Hello, and welcome back to the Kyle's Corner podcast. I'm your host, Kyle, and today we will be talking about Godzilla. We will defeat him with our most glorious army of Japanese soldiers.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. Kyle, that was something.
I am here today with my co-workers, Joseph and Connor, to defeat Godzilla and learn the lore. Say hello, everyone.
What's up?
Hello.
So today, we'll be going over Godzilla's history and cinematic stuff as well.
Okay.
I don't know, I was going to say something else.
Where should we start?
I guess with like the original, like where
the original Godzilla.
Okay, so like how the original film, like the idea from him was, you know, the two atomic bombs and also bikini. What it was?
It was the whole creation of Godzilla started back as like propaganda for anti-nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
What year was that? Was that 1955? The first movie came out?
You were actually very close. 54. He was inspired by the atomic bombs, but also inspired by a lot of American monster movies like King Kong and The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms.
And it wasn't also like a derivative of the monster from the lagoon or something like that.
Actually, that might be true. The creature from the Black Lagoon, I think that might be. I definitely know that's for a different Toho monster, but that's not until a little later down the line.
Okay, let's get focused on this movie right now.
Let's just focus on Godzilla. Okay, so what happened was Godzilla was probably just swimming in the ocean, doing what dinosaurs do in the ocean.
Was he a dinosaur in this
iteration? He's a mutated, like, mega lizard.
Yeah, they say that he's, like, in the original film, he's like a crossbreed between, like, dinosaurs that, like, animals that could swim and, like, dinosaurs.
Like, Mosasaurs, Baryonyx, for example. Yeah,
they specifically use Brontosaurus as an example of a land creature in that movie. Mm-hmm. And then he got mutated by the atomic bomb, went on a rampage in Tokyo, and
then that's how he became born to be loved as a figure of all kaiju.
And also was feared by every single Japanese person.
I heard the first suit was inspired by the Bahama Islands, or was it Bikini Islands?
Bikini
Atoll.
Where
they tested the nuclear bombs, and there's a Japanese
Bikini
boat.
Atoll. Yeah, that's exactly where Godzilla came from.
That went by, and they got all charred up, and like their skin turned black from the radiation, and that's where they based off Godzilla's skin from.
Yeah, that is exactly true. In fact, some of the concept art, like certain shots in the movie, was kind of meant to have Godzilla's head resemble something like a mushroom cloud in certain shots.
Yeah, I've heard that. They're seeing it.
Well, I mean, it makes sense when you.
It's a representation and like throwback to the whole nuclear bomb, atomic bomb, and it's like just throwbacks all these people.
It's a throwback to the innocent people who died in the bombing.
The innocent people.
And then like Godzilla evolved over time to look completely different when he eventually.
His first name, we forgot to mention, was Gojira.
Which is a combination.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
Literally,
that's the name Japanese of the first movie.
Yeah,
is Gojira.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people think, Godzilla was just like the English name is just a made-up word that American distributed. No, it's actually something that Toho themselves came up with.
Mm-hmm.
Is it King of the Lizards?
King of the Monsters.
King of the Monsters.
I remember I actually talked to...
Zilla means monster.
Zilla.
God in Japanese.
Zilla doesn't mean monster, it's just...
It does. Like, the name, it goes King Monster.
Oh, well...
Because Zilla means, like, lizard or something like that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's King of the Lizards, actually. Because, like, the movie was King of the Monsters, but...
King of the Lizards.
King of the Lizards.
Like, that's literally what it is, because God back in, what is it?
Japan?
Like, Shoto, Japan, like, Emperor Japan, God essentially meant king.
Yeah.
Because the emperor, and then Zilla basically meant lizard in Japanese slang, I think is what it was. So it's Godzilla.
I'm not sure.
King Lizard.
I'm not sure about the Zilla part, because like in his original name, it's the combination of the Japanese words of gorilla and whale.
Yeah.
Where it's like Gorira and Kojira.
Yeah, and then they like evolved it.
Yeah.
To be King of the Lizards, the original name.
Zilla, on the other hand, means something else that's also a lizard. Coincidentally, that you mentioned that.
It's a reptile product.
Guys, you're getting a little off track here. You get focused on the movies.
Right. So, what happened afterwards is that the first Godzilla died.
He does?
Yeah. He
don't remember.
He dies very badly.
He gets... Essentially, what happens is that a creator, like an inventor, creates a bomb that he chooses to kill himself with and destroy all the plants so that way it can be used as a weapon in the future. So what the bomb was is essentially like it strips the oxygen from
the cells.
Yeah, and basically rips you flesh. like they ended it like in the film. It's basically Godzilla getting his flesh ripped off, and he's screaming and
yeah, no, like
I should say
Godzilla's cells are so durable that they can survive completely on their own from the main body. So the only way to actually put Godzilla down is by completely removing all the oxygen from his cells.
Yeah,
because he absorbs radiation like no tomorrow. He's completely ballistic proof. He eats nukes like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
He survived a meteor falling on top of him, destroying a city, and he just stood there like a champ.
Connor. Yeah, that is very much.
We're jumping forward in time.
Yeah,
you jumping forward.
Okay, so then after that, a second Godzilla comes up.
Is that the same as your relative of the first Godzilla, or is he?
He's like a member of the same species, but I'm not sure a relative.
Well, it's the same suit essentially.
Yeah. Well, kind of. They had to make it different because like the original suit was actually made out of heavy concrete. Actually, I'm not even
concrete
because materials like rubber and stuff like that were very rare and expensive in post-war Japan.
How could you move in concrete?
I don't know.
Probably like paper mache, actually.
Probably, yeah. Haruo Nakajima lost 20 pounds, like I think either every shoot or by the end of the film.
Probably by the end of the film. I don't think every shoot.
If he did, then
end of the film.
Nakajima was champion of monster suits. But anyways, then this Godzilla comes back, and he fights a new monster, Anguirus, the ankylosaur-looking monster.
They're commonly known as like best friends. Like Anguirus has been used multiple times as a filler dinosaur in case the suit that they were originally going to use for the movie was getting worked on or repaired. Yeah. So Anguirus was always a throw-in monster, and everybody loved Anguirus. Like there's nobody who don't love.
It's
Anguirus.
A shame that he didn't appear in
King of the Monsters.
Well, he kind of did, but at the same time,
throwback. It's like
he kind of did appear in King of the Monsters, but due to international copyright laws. Okay, so he fights the first generation Anguirus. First generation Anguirus gets blown up by Godzilla's atomic breath.
As per usual, there's gonna be a story, like there's gonna be a consisting.
So you're saying it's a basic
here.
Story?
Yeah.
It's the basic bitch ending of every single Godzilla movie.
It's basically. Like, after this point, it's basically Godzilla fights another monster.
So is he a protagonist, antagonist, or a neutral
Anguirus?
No, I mean Godzilla.
Kind of an antagonist still.
And I don't know, he evolved throughout the entire, series. He used to be a complete straight villain, just destroying Tokyo, and then the only way they got him to stop was to went back to the water. Because he was tired of breaking shit. And then he evolved slowly to be more like a
kid, like a superhero.
Protector, an anti-hero.
Yeah, but then they brought it back to an antagonist against humanity.
Okay, we're jumping the gun a bit again. So he kills Anguirus, gets trapped in an iceberg by a bunch of Japanese soldiers shooting missiles from aircraft, and he gets trapped in ice. Then because that sequel was so poorly received, they put Godzilla on hold for a couple years, introducing other monsters like Rodan and
Hedorah.
No, Hedorah is a little longer down.
I know he's not
Frankenstein and Godzilla.
Yeah, Frankenstein monster canonically is a part of Godzilla, which makes no sense to me, and I hate it.
Again, you're kind of jumping.
Japanese.
You're jumping.
I know it is.
You're jumping the guns of it, folks.
We're all jumping guns here.
Okay, so they introduced monsters like Rodan, Varon, and then in 1962, Toho wanted to bring back Godzilla and create another one. And coincidentally, around the same time, there was a little backstory to King Kong. Okay, so the lead stop-motion animator for the original film wanted to create a movie where King Kong fights a giant stop-motion Frankenstein's monster in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But he couldn't find any distributors for the film because,
it's a pretty weird film idea.
Well, no,
Frankenstein was heavily protected by copyright at the time.
Well, not only that, but also because of the rising costs of stop-motion animation and animation in general, it was kind of received. So, a slimy little producer by the name of John Beck, and there's a reason why I call him slimy. He went behind Willis O'Brien's back and sold the film to Toho, and they replaced Frankenstein's monster with Godzilla. And O'Brien didn't get any credit for it. And then they make King Kong. He's 45 meters tall now. He shoots lightning, which...
Is that taller or shorter than...
It's shorter. He's significantly shorter.
Well, the original,
original, if they were to compare it to now... He's like
the Showa Godzilla.
A small child.
Small child.
Well, the Showa Godzilla is 50 meters, and the Showa Kong is 45 meters.
Well, yeah. What year are we talking about here? Because 2014, he's 100.
Oh, we're talking 1962, buddy.
Oh, because we're way back.
So we're still in the Showa period of Godzilla films.
We're gonna skip through this real quick. All right, so
because I kind of want to rifle through a ton of characters.
Okay, so King Kong fights Godzilla. Godzilla gets attacked. Still an antagonist in this movie, and then it ends with King Kong winning and Godzilla being at sea, and King Kong slowly kind of marches his only appearance in the Godzilla franchise so far. Yeah,
we're getting a new one next year.
Well, that, and there's also one kind of more Toho movie that was made with Kong before the rights ran out. But we're again jumping the gun a bit. Okay, so then they introduced monsters like Mothra, and then Frankenstein versus Paragon, and then they have War of the Gargantuas. They have Atragon, which involves a giant sea dragon named Manda.
Is that the one where he does the kick, or like where he goes backwards with his
Oh
breath?
no,
that's 1976. I think is what that is.
Oh no,
So
that's 1973, my friend.
Oh, I'm close.
You're very close.
So it's the second period of Godzilla.
So then he fights Mothra. He kills the original Mothra, but her two larva kills.
Mothra, the whole story behind Mothra is she's from an island that's never been found called Infant Island.
Yeah.
And she's reborn there as a phoenix, like, every single time.
Yeah.
And she has two little fairy
that communicate for her. And then the egg ends up in the Mayas somehow. We don't know how, but the egg always ends up in this one Mayan temple, which is where she's then reborn as Mothra, and then she canonically helps Godzilla every single time.
Yeah, after
not counting the first movie though.
After this point, it comes Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, where it's
the most iconic Godzilla villain.
It's actually the first time not only Ghidorah but also Rodan and Mothra are in the Godzilla. Because the thing is, it's something weird to think about, but Godzilla was technically one of the first cinematic universes before Marvel and DC
and all,
and even the MonsterVerse. Godzilla was technically speaking one of the very first. I think the first was Universal's old school monsters.
Yeah, and he survived the passage of time being the head honcho of all monsters.
There are very few characters I could think of that have that kind of staying power in film.
What do you think is more iconic than Godzilla?
Probably Dracula.
I'm talking about kaiju. We're talking about the face of kaiju.
Oh, monsters?
Pacific Rim and stuff like that.
King Kong? Probably King Kong.
He's
pretty iconic. He said 4 movies.
I mean, King Kong, yeah, but also Godzilla has a larger catalog of monsters too.
A lot of them aren't that good.
What are you talking?
And Godzilla and King Kong movies are usually a little better than.
Okay,
you gotta specify which ones.
Let's get back to it. All right, so Mothra, Godzilla, Rodan beat King Hedorah. He flies up to space like the little. Then a bunch of aliens come down to Earth in the next movie. They come down and this is going to be a plot point for a lot of major Godzilla movies. So aliens come down, they say, oh no, King Ghidorah is attacking our planet. So they grab Godzilla and Rodan, take him to that planet, they fight off King Ghidorah. But then, plot twist, it's revealed that they were actually mind-controlling King Ghidorah, and now they have Ghidorah, Godzilla, and Rodan at their disposal. I don't know where Mothra is. Maybe she's just chilling.
She's just chilling somewhere on Infant Island, probably.
Mothra's chilling out on Infant Island, and Beerus is dead, and King Kong just...
I don't know. And
went back to America.
And then, wait, who's next in line? Is it Hedorah? Because this is when pollution becomes a thing.
Oh, no. You're
trash monster.
You're going way too...
He's actually a slime monster.
He represents trash.
Oh, you need to switch positions now?
No, I'm just standing up.
Okay. He represents pollution.
Well, yeah, and he absorbs pollution.
Yeah.
I know I'm jumping.
Okay, so then after that, he fights...
Beerus?
No. Beerus. That's not a real monster.
Ebirah.
Yeah,
Ebirah. Not Beerus.
Ebirah, horror. He fights a giant lobster, which was...
Oh, yeah, the lobster dude.
It was originally supposed to be a King Kong movie, but the...
Oh, yeah.
And then King Kong got rights or something. Yeah, they ran out of the
technically,
copyright.
Kind of. It's where, they were producing it with Rankin Bass, which are the people that made, all those stop-motion Christmas specials. And what they were doing is that they wanted a movie to be more accurate to their, at the time, show called The King Kong Show, which was a very crappily animated King Kong. It was the first American...
It's just all the Godzilla TV shows are whack.
Oh.
Yeah, they're all weird.
They're whack, that's for sure. But anyways, then comes along... They decided to throw Godzilla in, and they also have Mothra in it. And she was in the original script, too. So we would have had Mothra and Kong fighting a bit.
Fighting a lobster?
Well, Kong would have fought the lobster, and they would have fought Mothra, but they changed it to Godzilla, and Godzilla's really horny towards a woman, so you can kind of see that too. in the movie.
What?
Well,
It's super weird.
remember, it's a King Kong. It was supposed to be a King Kong movie, so that
Oh,
wouldn't be out of the
I
ordinary.
guess.
Yeah, that wouldn't be out of the ordinary.
Well, and they changed the script when they redid it for Godzilla.
They did the same thing for King Kong versus Godzilla. Remember? They had a script ready, so it's throwing Godzilla.
But you can't just swap characters if they have different personalities.
Well, they did. But anyways, then comes Son of Godzilla, and yeah.
Oh my god, the thing's gross.
Oh, yeah.
Godzilla's son, he looks so dumb.
He's got like 3 children, and he's a neglectful father. Like,
There's only one good son.
and there's only one that died. Believe it or not.
There's only one good son.
Is it this one?
No, it's not this one. That's the next.
That's
But
the
anyways,
next one.
we got Manila, who's this pudgy little shit.
Fat thing.
Fat thing.
He looks ugly.
Fat
He's
dinosaur.
super happy all the time.
Is he the one with giant eyes?
Yeah.
The anime eyes?
Yeah, and they also introduce monsters like Kumanga and Kamacuras, which are just giant bug puppets.
Kumanga is this gigantic spider that woke up when Manila dropped a boulder on
Yeah,
him.
'cause
and
Manila causes
Kumanga was like, oh, hell no.
Manila causes everything to go wrong.
Yeah, no. Manila's like the klutz of the entire monster.
He's like the Scrappy Doo of Godzilla, if you think
Yeah,
about it.
no. He causes problems.
And then later on, they make Destroy All Monsters, which was originally supposed to be the last Godzilla film, and they had King Ghidorah in it, and Ghidorah actually dies, but then they wanted to keep making Godzilla movies. So,
Did he die? Question mark.
well, chronologically, like all the Godzilla films that happen after Destroy All Monsters happened before it, if that makes any sense. It's like a weird retro.
What?
Yeah, I mean, Ghidorah shows up later, alive in Godzilla vs. Gigan and Godzilla.
We'll get back to Gigan later, though.
Yeah.
He has a completely different storyline.
Yeah,
in Final
Destroy
Wars.
All Monsters has everyone here. We got Godzilla, we got Anguirus, we got Rodan, we got Manila, we got Manda, we got Paragon, we got Varon.
I feel like
We got
I need to
Kumanga.
rifle through some
We
storylines
got
and characters.
Yeah?
Paragon is basically a naked mole rat meets an elephant meets Dracula. He's just a fat, just naked mole rat looking demon creature that came out of the ground angry, and then Godzilla was like, oh hell no, and
No.
then blew him up.
No, that wasn't Godzilla, that was Frankenstein. You're thinking of GMK.
No, I'm talking about Paragon. Paragon versus Godzilla.
Paragon vs. Godzilla wasn't a movie.
Yeah, it was.
No, you're thinking of Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant All Monsters all the time. You're
He
thinking...
got blown up by.
You're thinking...
He got
we're still
blown
in
up
the
by.
Showa series, my dude. You're thinking a little too
We're in
far.
the TV show.
TV show.
TV show.
I thought we were sticking to movies.
Yeah,
we
we're
are sticking
movies.
to movie. Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah is a movie.
So we're in Destroy All Monsters, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in Destroy All Monsters.
Okay, so Godzilla kicks Paragon.
No, he doesn't.
What do you mean he doesn't?
You're thinking of Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack, where he actually does kick Paragon.
He said he kicks it. He like
You're
Godzilla
thinking-
What are you
has
guys
kicked every single monster in the entire franchise.
You're thinking of the wrong movie, my dude.
I'm also rifling through the character's story. I'm not
Yeah.
specifically on the
well,
movie.
Paragon fought Frankenstein first. Frankenstein killed Paragon, and then Frankenstein dies, and then his cells become
Japanese Frankenstein.
yeah, Jeff, and then he becomes 2 monsters called Sanda and Gyra, which are weird, like I guess Bigfoot monsters if you think about it. Like imagine it's something else. But
I
anyway,
think it
something
wasn't there.
else.
No, there wasn't. Never mind.
and then Varon, he dies in this movie. And actually, fun fact about Varon, he was played by the same suit actor as Godzilla for all the films, and Varon in particular. Nakajima. See, in the film, there's a truckload of explosives that Varon's supposed to, go over. So what happened was, when they activated the explosion, it actually burned a hole in Haru Nakajima's stomach, and he
Ooh.
said nothing about it and just kept going at it.
So, did he get injured? Did he go to the hospital?
He
after?
did go to the hospital afterwards, but he just kind of went. He just kind of.
So it was a literal hole
Yeah, literal hole
Yep.
in the stomach. It was
from
burned.
explosives.
Yeah,
And he said nothing about it.
Yep.
until after the shoot was done.
I mean, that's not very safe.
He's a
He's
he
not
was
a
a-
champ.
he was a
That's dumb.
Well, it's not
He could
that.
have died.
He's being a champ.
he was a be 88.
Is he dead?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
died in 2017.
Oh, I thought he was still alive.
No, I wish he was. But anyways, getting back
He's
to
okay.
then there's also Manda, who's a giant sea dragon who guarded an ancient civilization and then got
Fun fact about Manda, though, is that he's actually a representation of what the Japanese seen as dragons.
Yeah, he actually. Well, I mean, like originally
Like, he's from the Eastern Sea.
he was originally supposed to be just a giant snake, but since it was like 1964 when they made that movie, and it was the year of the dragon, they thought, hey, let's make our monster a dragon instead. So,
Oh, that'd be
it-
cool.
and then you got Kumanga. There were a couple other monsters that were supposed to appear in it, like King Kong was supposed to show up.
But more legal issues happened. And,
Yeah, and
King Kong.
Kamacuras was meant to show up. The Gargantuas, a giant octopus.
Like Kraken?
Kinda.
Well,
Basically Kraken.
It appeared in King Kong vs. Godzilla where Kong fought it.
It's
What do you
basically
mean
the Kraken.
in Skull Island with that?
No, that's a reference to it, though.
Yeah, because they have the giant octopus that
Yeah,
King Kong
but-
eats.
Oh, we almost forgot about one other movie that's also kind of important for the other one. King Kong Escapes, where
I haven't watched that movie.
It's basically an adaptation of the King Kong show where it introduces the dinosaur monster Gorosaurus and the robot ape Mechanicong. Mechanicong's important because he's an inspiration.
Pause. We need to give some information on these characters.
Yeah.
You're just like naming them off.
You
right?
can't just name them off.
Gorosaurus.
He's a giant Allosaurus.
Is a giant, just Allosaurus T-Rex looking ass. And then Mechanicong is literally just Robot King Kong.
Yeah. And Mechanicong is very important for later on because he serves as an inspiration as probably one of the most popular Godzilla monsters of all time, Mecha Godzilla.
There's 3 of them, by the way.
Oh yeah, there's 3 Mecha, but we're still in the show. Mogira appeared in his own movie back in the Mysterians back in 1960.
Mogira was, from what I know, he was created as like for a cult of people that was like against humanity, and they wanted to like capture all the women. And it was super
those were
weird.
aliens. Those were aliens, not a cult.
Yeah, no, it was like a cult of
Aliens,
people,
yeah,
aliens,
yeah.
whatever. And then they wanted to capture all the women, and then Mogira was fighting Godzilla, but then got destroyed in space.
He wasn't fighting Godzilla. You're thinking of the Heisei movies, dude. Kyle, you doing all right?
What? Yeah.
You look a little... Oh, man.
He looks a little confused.
Yeah, I don't blame him. So, moving a bit...
current Godzillas.
Okay.
I don't know, all the ones.
Okay. We're gonna talk about, like, we're gonna rush through the monsters that appeared in, like, the later films, and then...
At least describe them a little, so
Okay,
people know what you're saying.
So, Gigan. He's basically a giant...
I want to talk about Gigan. I love Gigan.
Gigan's a space
Sorry,
dinosaur.
you're not gonna hear that.
He's a space dinosaur that was converted into a cyborg by aliens.
He's got hooks for arms. He's got a buzzsaw on his chest. He got laser beam eyeball, and he's got
he's got wing.
He's just a robot space duck. Like it's the most accurate representation.
I've heard more descriptions of a chicken, but
and then in later movies from Final Wars, these people like evolved them and have like chain axe hands.
Oh yeah,
they
like give him
remade
his
they remade his buzzsaw on his chest. They gave him 2 laser beams. He can now fly. He's got scissors on his back. Like he's got like a giant, like a literal, just like giant pair of scissors on his back that work in conjunction with his wings. And he lost like 300 pounds. He's super skinny.
Oh yeah, the original Gigan was a chubby boy. And then we talk about Megalon, who is a giant insect monster. Which
he's considered a god amongst like underground. Because like in the Godzilla universe, there's an underground civilization
that lives in the ocean
that has 2 gods that I believe they worship, which is Meganera. That's Meganera.
Megaguirus. No, you're.
No, I'm talking about the.
I think it's
the
just
dragonfly.
I think that's Megaguirus.
Yeah, because they have Megalon and Megaguirus. Because
Megaguirus wasn't worshipped this one though.
Well, she was still part of the underground civilization,
I guess.
Because like Megaguirus came forth when she's the queen of like these underground prehistoric dragonflies.
Yeah,
and these like dragonflies collected Godzilla's radiation and fed it to their queen, which made her gigantic.
Which, fun fact, those monsters actually the Mega Nuala appeared in the original Rodan movie, so that's where it came from.
Yep. And then I feel like we should get back to Megalon.
Megalon is a giant insect monster that can shoot napalm bombs out of its nose.
He also has
his mouth.
drills for arms, by the way.
Yeah,
like, Toho has a consistency to make monsters that don't have actual hands.
Yeah, and then that film there also is Jet Jaguar, who is basically an Ultraman ripoff, but my favorite.
Well, okay, like the way Jet Jaguar came forth was because Toho held a competition where kids had to design a monster.
They did, and the kid won, but Toho decided, fuck it, let's just make it. Like the original design was like a weird, like a weird looking bird creature with wings on its back that looked like a robot. And then when Toho saw the design, they said, let's just make our own. And they made Jet Jaguar. And then what happened is that it was a Jet Jaguar and Megalon were going to be in a solo film, but they thought it won't draw enough audience.
Wasn't it Jet Jaguar versus Anguirus or something like that?
No, it was Jet Jaguar versus Megalon.
Ultraman.
I could have swore Jet Jaguar fought Anguirus at some point.
No, he did not. Okay. I think you're thinking of Mecha Godzilla, dude.
No, I'm like, I swear in my life I could have swore Jet Jaguar fought Anguirus. Because I remember him drop kicking the guy in the back and like his foot got messed up.
Drop kick.
Like I could have sworn on my life.
Maybe you're just having a Mandela effect, dude. But anyways, I'm kidding.
To be honest.
I'm kidding.
I might lose my mind.
But anyways, they throw in Godzilla and Gigan in the movie and said, hey, it's a Godzilla movie now. So Jet Jaguar can change size.
It's his Ultraman.
Yeah, he's pretty much. I mean, in Godzilla Unleashed, there's literally a move that actually got the game makers in trouble, where he does the Ultraman like thing like this, and he shoots a laser. Yeah, the makers of Godzilla Unleashed got a little in trouble with that because of copyright infringement and all that. But anyways, and then the final two movies of the Showa series, you got Mecha Godzilla, who is a robot Godzilla clone that was created by aliens.
He's not a clone.
Well, no, you're right. I'm thinking of a third one. But anyways.
Oh, I know this one. I like that guy.
Yeah, the first Mecha Godzilla was created by aliens, and he has the most. Like, he's got finger missiles, toe missiles, can shoot laser beams out of his eyes, can shoot fire out of his nose.
Sounds sick.
He can fly.
He can fly. He's got a buzz. He's got like a
saw on his tail.
Yeah, kind of like that. Well, actually, I think more of it's a blade. But
it's kind of like a sword.
Yeah, kind of.
Like a
but anyways, he's just. And then there's also in that movie, there's King Caesar, who is a giant.
Caesar. It's just Caesar.
I've heard it pronounced Caesar, but anyway, King Caesar, who is a giant Shiza, which is like a weird Japanese mix of like a dog and a lion.
Oh.
He's also really smart. Like, some of these monsters are super smart.
Oh yeah, I think
like Megalon is really smart. Caesar's super smart.
Megalon's not smart. Are you kidding me?
No, he's smart, but he makes a lot of mistakes.
He's stupid.
It's because people played them.
That's not what I mean. Like, they have actual like IQ.
Yeah. Well, let's see. King Caesar can absorb. Let's see. Like, say someone shoots an energy blast at him, he can absorb it through his eyes and just spit it back out. Even.
He's a really weird character. I find him
to
be pretty lame.
I love the guy.
Like,
he's also a mixed martial artist, which
my lower half is falling asleep on this chair.
Oh, actually, I almost forgot. In Godzilla vs. Megalon,
just lift it up so it doesn't make. Yeah, Joe.
That's actually the movie in.
Is that where he shoots his?
No, in Godzilla vs. Megalon, that's where he does the drop kick.
Oh, you mean the drop kick that he does like 1,000?
Oh my god!
miles?
I completely forgot about Hedorah.
Oh, Hedorah? Oh, okay. So I got this.
All right.
So Hedorah is the embodiment of what Japan was like. It was like pollution awareness.
Yeah.
And Hedorah gets stronger
every time
he feeds on pollution. And like, he's one of the only characters that has effectively gotten through Godzilla's like impenetrable skin. There's like maybe 5 characters in total that have been able to do that.
Yeah.
And like, there's 90% of them are just blunt force damage.
Yeah.
And like, Hedorah
is difficult to kill.
Yeah, Hedorah gets under his skin, like, literally with, like, acid spit, and, like, melts him from the inside out.
Trash
and, like,
man.
Yeah, he's, like, trash octopus. So he's great.
And then you got the final monster, which is Titanosaurs, which is a giant dinosaur that is under mind control and can...
He defends the remains of the original Mecha Godzilla?
Well, Mecha Godzilla gets rebuilt, and so Titanosaurus, although Titanosaurus is unique because he's a monster that's not, meant to be aggressive. Apparently
he's a peaceful, like, dragon-looking monster.
He's a peaceful dinosaur, but he got put on mind control. And so anyways, he's a dinosaur that can cause hurricanes, and as you can expect, Godzilla beats all of them. Although King Caesar actually helps Godzilla. And
yeah, most of the fights against the stronger opponents, Godzilla, like, 2v1 them. Like, there's going to be a pretty following theme later.
Godzilla wins everything, that's what you're saying.
And then after a while, the Godzilla series just kind of...
If you guys like that, I'd like you to support this episode by liking and subscribing. Joe and Connor and I all worked on it very hard, so if you guys could show some support, we'd really enjoy that. But part 2 is coming out later this week, so have a good rest of your day, enjoy a Sody Pop, and see you on the flip side. Jabronskis.